Hello, Mark Sabatella with Mastering MuseScore here. In this video, I'm not going to be talking about MuseScore or really about music, except maybe a tiny bit. I'm going to be talking about microphones. I'm going to talk about how we record ourselves. And primarily, I'm talking about recording our voice. So we do video calls, we do live streams, we do podcasts, we record videos, whatever we're doing that we might want to record our voice with. Many times we might be just using the built-in microphone on our computer or on our phone, and sometimes that's good enough. But if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're thinking about alternatives. Now, I'm not going to be talking about really expensive high-end alternatives. I'm going to talk about just the sort of ordinary upgrades that anyone might want to try. And so you can get a sense of, well, is it actually an upgrade, and how much of an upgrade is it worth it? I will also just mention, as far as music goes, that the built-in microphone is usually not a good choice for recording music because it doesn't give you the kind of level control you would want normally. It's usually, on most systems, has some sort of built-in level control so that you won't be able to get a difference between the quiet passages and the loud passages. It's going to squish them all together. So often that processing is often not present if you're using external microphones. So that's something to consider. Also, absolutely, it's not just about the microphone. It's about how you record, right? So be aware of that. If you're recording what's coming through a video call, that's not going to be as good as recording it right there on the machine where the voice actually is. So don't record the other person's voice on a video call and expect it to be as good. Also, the distance that you are from the microphone will have a big effect. The closer you are, then the less it's going to pick up other noises. So that's always a consideration. And how quiet the environment that you're in is also a big consideration. So there's a lot of things to consider that we're not going to consider here. We're just going to talk about microphones. So let's get on with that and start looking at what some of the options might be. So the first thing I want to talk about is what you're actually listening to right now. This is my voice coming through kind of my semi-professional studio setup here. It's actually quite inexpensive also, but it is a little more work to set up than most of the other options that I'll talk about. So what we've got here is a Tascam TM-80 microphone, which is a condenser mic with an XLR connection. So the XLR connection means you don't just plug it directly into your computer or your phone. You need to run it into a mixer. So the reason for this is so you can connect multiple sound sources and mix them together. So if you're running a podcast, maybe you've got a studio guest and you want to have multiple microphones, this is the kind of setup you need for that. So this particular microphone, very inexpensive, well under $100, and you can spend a lot more than that on this kind of setup. In my case, I really only have the one microphone, but I use this because I want to get my keyboard in there, and my keyboard is running directly into that same mixer. So that's kind of a nice thing. I don't have to have my speakers on for that. The other thing I might want to do is listen to MuseScore and be able to talk. And be able to talk over MuseScore and control all the different volume levels of what's happening. So my mixer allows me to do that. So this kind of setup is great for someone who's really dealing with a lot of sound sources and wanting to get this kind of control. And then you spend as much as you want on the mic. Oh, and it's a condenser mic, meaning it is picking up whatever sound is in the room, but I've got a fairly quiet studio here. I guess I just don't obsess about that too much. It does have the nice feature as really, its dynamic mics are more well known for this effect, but even with the condenser, if I get up close to it and talk into it, you get that extra proximity effect, it's called. So that is the setup I'm using right now, and this is what we're going to be comparing everything else to. So the first alternative that I want to consider is going to be just the built-in microphone on this computer that I'm using right now. I'm using a Microsoft Surface Pro 6. And as mentioned, I'm not actually right now using the built-in microphone. And but let's go ahead and switch to it and just see, what does that built-in microphone sound like, Mark? Hey Mark, it's Mark. And what I'm using right now is the built-in microphone on my Microsoft Surface Microsoft Surface Pro 6. So this is a few years old. It's it's a relatively pricey-ish laptop because by the time you have the keyboard and everything, because it's like a tablet, right? And what that really means is, yeah, it's a little more expensive than it needs to be because of that. It's not because it's got particularly great sound, right? It's not known for having great speakers, so I wouldn't assume it has a great microphone. It's probably a pretty average microphone as laptop microphones go. But I don't know, you can be the judge. This is what this particular laptop's built-in microphone sounds like. So I don't know, you judge for yourself if it felt like this is worth improving on, and then we'll check out some options for how you might actually try to do that. All right, back over to you, Mark. Well, that's what the built-in microphone on the Microsoft Surface sounds like. While I'm here, let me also just use the built-in microphone on the webcam. And this is just a really cheap AVerMedia webcam. I don't know, got it at Costco. It's a microphone that it has built in. Frankly, I've barely ever used it. But hey, Mark, what does that one sound like? Let's have a listen. Hey, Mark, it's Mark. And now I am using my webcam, the microphone built into the webcam, not built into the laptop, but this is an external webcam at AVerMedia. It's just some generic-y kind of webcam I know nothing about, except they had it at Costco, and we picked one up. And it looks, it's got like this, nice looking capsule to it. It looks like maybe it should sound all right, but I frankly almost never use it. I use the webcam aspect, but when I'm using that webcam, I'm usually using my my other mics with it. So this is what the webcam mic sounds like. Back over to you, Mark. Well, that was interesting. So the next thing I want to check out is my iPhone. If I try using the built-in microphone, just like I'm just gonna speakerphone wise, as if I was doing a Zoom call or something, using my iPhone microphone. What does that sound like? What does the built-in microphone on an iPhone sound like, Mark? Hi, Mark. This is Mark, and this is me recording a video using the audio on my iPhone. So this is just the built-in microphone. This is what the built-in microphone on my iPhone sounds like. So thanks for having me, and I hope this sounds all right to you. So that was my iPhone with the built-in microphone in kind of speakerphone mode. Well, what if I were to use my AirPods? So these are wireless and, they just sit in my ear and the microphone on there. What does that sound like, Mark? Hi, Mark. This is Mark. And now I've got my AirPods in. So I am using the audio from the microphone on the AirPods. This is what the AirPod mic sounds like. So let's listen to me talk a little more. AirPod microphone. It's been a pleasure being here with you, and I'll hand it back over now. Well, those were the AirPods. What about just the basic cheap earbuds that they used to actually give you with your phone? I don't know that they still do that anymore, but these let's hear what just a basic cheap pair of earbuds that come with your phone might sound like. Mark? Hi, Mark. It's Mark. And now I've got in the earbuds that came with my phone. It actually didn't come with this phone. It came with, an older phone of mine. But I think these are actually Apple ones. Can't even be positive. So the deal with these is they are wired and they have a microphone attached to them. And if I move around a little bit, maybe we're going to hear some noises from the microphone rubbing on things, or maybe we won't. I guess that's what we'll find out. So over to you. The next setup that I want to hear is actually the one I use the most often because it's super convenient. And this is my Chromebook, a Pixelbook Go, with its built-in microphone. So this is just, I can just stick this thing on my lap and use it. And how does it compare to all the others, Mark? Hi Mark, it's Mark, and now I am on my Chromebook. This is a Pixelbook Go. It has a better than average built-in microphone, and that's what I'm using here, the built-in microphone on my Chromebook. So this is actually something I use a lot. It's not my pro setup, but it's kind of a simple setup. So anyhow, this is what it sounds like, and back over to you, Mark. Okay, so another one for you here. This is a pretty common microphone that people would have to use in kind of solo podcasting or any kind of broadcast kind of thing. This is the Blue Yeti. It's a very popular USB microphone, just kind of plug and play. It's got some nice quality and convenience going for it. And the version I have is actually the Blue Yeti X, which I like because it's got a volume control and level meter built into the mic. But what does it sound like? Mark? Hey Mark, it's Mark here. And this is my Blue Yeti X microphone at that. And a thing I like about this one is it's got a little volume knob right there on the microphone, not just the volume knob, but an actual level meter, so I can monitor my levels. So this is like a really good choice probably if you're doing this sort of thing a lot, want a relatively simple setup, and you can have some control about your input levels without having to mess with it in whatever software you're using. So this is me talking about a foot away from the microphone. I'm going to do that thing now that people like to do. I'm going to turn down the volume. And now I'm going to talk right into the microphone just so you can get a little of that classic I am speaking quietly directly into my microphone sound. And back to where I was before. So anyhow, I hope you got something out of that one there also. So back over to you, Mark. Now, the Blue Yeti series is extremely popular in this world. People who are doing a lot of voiceovers and videos like that, it's a very popular option. I'm not claiming it's necessarily the best option. Some people, like anything that's popular, it's got its detractors too. But what I am going to talk about is I want to take a look at a cheaper alternative, like a much cheaper alternative. So the Blue Yeti runs a little over $100 depending on which model you get. The one I'm going to look at here I got for $30 at Target. It's a Target brand microphone. Heyday is their line of electronics, and it's a USB microphone. It's even got a volume control right on the microphone, which is a lovely touch. It doesn't have a level meter like my Blue Yeti X does, but let's find out if for only $30 you can get a USB mic that actually is worth using. Hi Mark, it's Mark, and now I am coming to you through the Target Heyday desktop microphone. It's a USB microphone, doesn't have any fancy model number or anything, it's just Heyday desktop microphone. It is a USB mic, and it's extremely inexpensive. It's like $30 at Target. And for an inexpensive microphone, it's kind of nice in that it has an input knob on it. It doesn't have a meter like my Blue Yeti X, so you can't tell how loud you need to be, but you can adjust the microphone level right there using that knob, which is kind of nice because right now I'm at 75%, which I did some experiments to see and figured that at the distance that I am from the mic right now, that's about what I want. If, on the other hand, I want to do the thing where I bring it up, I can bring it up to my face, and I've now got the volume a little below 50%, and this is maybe a more appropriate volume level for this. And so if you want to have this either handheld or on a stand where you have it close to your mouth so that you can get this sound, you can do that, and then turn the volume back up to 75% and put it back down. It's actually on my lap, to be honest. So this is what you can do with an extremely inexpensive USB microphone. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this little review. It's not really a review. It's not about the quality of individual microphones. It really wasn't about brand names of anything other than maybe the Blue Yeti. But it gives you a basic idea of what you can expect from different kinds of microphones. I mean, really, realistically, all earbuds kind of sound similar. All XLR condenser microphones are going to sound kind of similar, right? Within a type of microphone, you can expect kind of similar results. So maybe this helps you decide, how much money you want to spend, how much inconvenience you want to put up with, what kind of microphone you want to use to get the results you want for the amount of trouble you want to go through to get them.